Assalamu alaikum, adab, namaste, very good morning from our wonderful creative studio. We call it Beaver Studio in Bolton, UK. And today my guests are Shamim Panchbhaya. She is a founder member and former chairperson of Sisterhood Companions. I'm going to call it SC throughout the program to make my life easy, so I don't get my tongue twisted. And equally, another very important, very valuable guest is Farhat Shaheen, who has just taken over the very responsible role, pass it on to her by Shamim ji and the group, and she is now the chair of Sisterhood Companions. We are going to talk about the group, which is doing fantastic work when it comes to women empowerment. And before I start the program, I was doing some research, as usually I would do as a host. I read a lot about SC, the Sister Companion Group, and I also read a couple of books, not the whole book, but the part of the book. And one of the book I read written by Diane Marychild. She's an American author. She's an advocate for women issues, women empowerment, and she helps women to recognize their inner strength, their inner beauty, their outer beauty. She talks about women have some very unique gifts. This is a very wonderful word she has used in her book, and she encourages women to contribute positively towards the family, towards the society, towards the nation, and towards the world as well. And I would like to begin this program with one of the most beautiful quote I read in her book yesterday, that a woman is the full circle, or I should say a woman is the full circle. Within her, the power to create, the power to nurture, and the power to transform. And that's what we are going to talk today about, the creation, the creativity, the nurtureness, and the transformation, the role women are playing and has been playing for years and years. Shamim ji, Panchbhaya, I will call you Shamim ji.
That's fine, yes.
No problem. Farhat ji, I would call you Farhat ji. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's great.
Right, yeah, welcome to this show. How was your day? What did you do in the morning? And how do you feel about being in this wonderful, beautiful, creative Beaver studio?
I'm very excited. It's an honor to be here. It's an honor that we were asked to talk about the community champions, the sisterhood champions on air, because we are all about empowering women. Everything we do works towards empowering women, giving them the education, giving them the knowledge. Because if you think about it, our parents, when they came here, they didn't have a childhood. They came here, they worked. Now those women are grown up without any skills to say, social skills, going out skills, they're very limited. And they're very shy and confident. Now my job is, don't be shy, don't be confident. You are the best you can be. And carry on being that one.
Nice one. Farhat, how was your day? What did you do in the morning? And before we start talking about on the subject, which is your group, well, our group, I would say, how do you feel about being? This is the second time you came into the studio. I think the first time you came just for the introduction, and then we were talking about the arrangement of this interview. So how do you feel this morning?
I feel wonderful this morning, and thank you for having us. Busy with the family this morning. My sons both not feeling well, so just looking after them this morning. Making an appointment for my mom in the morning. So yeah, always busy with helping somebody.
There's a lot to do. There's a lot to do within the family, within the society.
Yeah.
Right now, you are a founder member, Shamim ji. How did you first become involved, and how? What quality did you bring to this group so they put their trust to make you the first chair of this group? So please, you can share those.
Definitely.
Some of your feelings.
Yes, definitely. Everything that happened with Sisterhood happened very organically. When I first moved into the area, when I was ill, I wasn't well, I couldn't work, so we bought a 2-up, 2-down house with wonderful neighbors, and they then asked me for help with the children and the homework. So I started up a Saturday girls club. They would come, I would help them with the homework. If there's any paperwork to be done, I'd have a look through there. And then I would do crafts with them.
And when was this? If you can
Oh
just-
my, I am
is it
going back
recently?
at least 12 years.
Okay, fair enough.
12 years ago. Now, those children have grown up. They've gone on to university. Some of them are married, settled. Now the mums have nothing to do. So we started congregating outside the house. Somebody will make the tea, somebody will bring bhajia, somebody will bring samosas. And that went on for at least a year and a half. And then we got so big, we had about 27 members. So we thought, right, we're getting big, we need to do something. So initially I brought them into my house, but then my husband said, you're too noisy, out. So then we looked for...
Courageous man to say that.
My
I would dare to say that.
No. My husband doesn't stop. He supports. He does not stop. He supports. So we could understand it. And anyway, that led to one thing and another. So we found a wonderful, wonderful venue, and I became last January 25, I became constituted, and I got a bit of funding from our councillors. I went on to the Rotary Club. I did a Dragon's Den with them and won some money.
Wow.
So with that, I paid for the venue and any basic needs that I paid for. Everything else comes out of our pockets.
Okay.
It's important to understand that everything we do is for the community. We're not doing it for money. We're not doing it to raise our own status. Nothing like that. We want them to learn. We want that passion to come out in them.
Okay, fair enough. Farhat, you have just been elected as the honorable chair of this wonderful organization called Sisterhood Companions. And in my opinion, and in my limited community, social, political NGO life, to become a chairperson is like almost, there's a leadership there. So, I mean, what does this Sisterhood Companion group mean to you personally and professionally? And what made you to join this group, please?
So my journey started like 25 years ago when I did my counselling and my psychology degree at Bolton University, and I got married. I had a child. My son was 2 years old. I decided I wanted to do something in the local community whilst looking after my child. So I set up my own project, the Apna Asian Women's Project, and that was in 2004. And around that, I was the chairperson for that. I've done lots of community work in the community with lots of different organisations, and came on board with Shamim because she said she needed someone to take over the role, and I thought I'll take the challenge on. I'm a counsellor myself. I work on the Universal Credit Helpline. I'm passionate about helping people, and especially women, our South Asian women, to build their confidence and make themselves sufficient and independent.
So that's why I need to pick up the point, because I was going to ask Shamimji, but you might as well contribute something. You describe quite holistically about women empowerment and activities, but can you specifically tell our viewer the activities you do, the kind of theme you focus on? The empowerment process, it's a philosophical phenomena, but then how do people become empowered? So can you describe specifically some of your activities, please, if that's possible?
Yeah, I'll take over because she's very new and she's still learning. What I do is I let them be children. They're not when they walk through that door, they are not adults. They are children. They've watched their children and grandchildren do sports day, but they've never done anything like that on their own. So by doing that, we do sports day, we do the sack race, egg and spoon race, anything and everything, yeah. And then I go back to their times when I will just test their mental maths. I'll say, right, 2 plus 4, this plus 4, get them thinking. And as they did that, and through playing games, their confidence built up.
Okay.
And as their confidence built up, so did their English.
Okay.
Everything just starts to put together, and it gives them a control over their life.
Okay.
It gives them the choice of doing things or not doing things, of making decisions themselves, rather than have somebody else make all the decisions. And I think that's very important.
When you say they pick up confidence, self-confidence, they learn English as well, I'm assuming positively that you have participants belonging to all age. I mean, first generation, second, younger generations. How do you then do the needs assessment and cater for each generation's what they need in terms of empowerment? And correct me if I'm wrong, I might be wrong, but it's just a thought that in my limited experience working with young people, they are more or less empowered compared to the first and second generations. So there are some valid reasons behind it as well. So how do you do needs assessment and cater for all generations?
Farhat, take the lead on this one.
Yes, so we work with all ages, women and children as well. We've just done a gardening project. Shamim, would you want to talk a little bit about the gardening project?
Yes. We worked alongside, well, I managed to secure some funding from Manchester University, and that was for sustainable gardening. So we've done that. We've turned our back streets. Anybody that wants to come and have a look at the back streets, they'll find plants outside every back door. And same at the front. We're making it lively because plants give you therapy in their own way.
Sure.
The cooling to the eyes, they relax your memory, relax your brain, just sit in there and not think about anything. And that has led to a media team from Manchester University coming and seeing for themselves what we have done in a couple of weeks' time. Because what we've done is phenomenal.
Okay.
We've all little children that never knew anything about planting. You asked them 2 months ago, where does your carrots come from? And they'll say Asda. Now they know carrots grow in the ground.
Oh, I see.
We know things like that, and it gives them a hobby, an activity to do in their own time, rather than just sitting there and watching TV or playing football or whatever. They're thinking about other things all the time. And it's these small steps.
Okay, what about young people? I mean, what activities you have offered so far for the young people? And are they really interested in groups like Sisterhood Companions? And are they really interested in getting involved in community activities? Are they really interested in social activities? Are they really interested in political activities? What is your take on that? One of you either...
I think we want to encourage the youth to get involved now because it's important for them to be involved in local communities and have a voice.
Okay.
So now I think the local councillor is Baggy Khan, who's a great role model for the youth and can encourage the youth to come on board and have a voice and talk about things that they want to talk about, which is important because obviously this is their local community and they're going to be running it, and it's important to teach them from a young age how to get involved in communities and set up groups.
But are they really interested? That's what I'm interested to know. From your experiences, is the youth of today really interested in our culture, in our NGO activities, in our social activities, in our community activities? You have given one classic example about Baghi Khan as a role model, and I'm sure that other respective parties do have now slowly young people coming forward as a role model. But from your experiences, have they got that energy and kind of feeling that yes, we need to be part of this community? Because sometimes it appears from our research and from my research as a writer that most of the young people and most of the community now living in a bubble, and we are losing that strength of 70s, 80s, and 60s, the community spirit, the family spirit, that bondage, that understanding, working together. So can you share your experiences on those notes?
I think we want to encourage that, don't we?
Yeah. I think every child out there does have a gift and they can put something back into the community. The problem lies in when they do not have the facilities available. They don't know. You need somebody, I believe, up until the age of 20, 21, be a male or a female, they need guidance. They need somebody to say, okay, we're holding this for you, come, turn up, we'll put food on, we'll do this for you, we'll play games. Come, just come, see for yourself. And I think through doing that, we have opened up a lot to the community. People talk about us, let's just put it that way.
Sure.
Towards the end of last year, I got all my ladies, who are all over 45 and majority in scarves, I made them do emergency first aid. How to use the defib, how to do mouth to mouth, how to resuscitate. And that was amazing because for them that was like, whoa, whoa, and whoa. And this is the sort of thing. So I'm hoping to set up another one for the teenagers.
Okay.
So when they write their applications for university or college or whatever, they can put it on there. And this is where I think we do lack as a community. We don't give them the options.
Nice one. As a founder, as a former chair, respectively, and current chair, Farhat, what challenges come with leading a sisterhood-focused community organization? Because it's a female-led organizations, nothing wrong with that. You are really, up to some extent, if I may say, as a host and as a writer, working slightly outside the box as well. We have a community, religions are there, Hinduism, Sikhism, Islam, but when it comes to its follower, the Muslim community, the Hindu community, the Sikh community, they have their social norms, traditions, customs, and within that environment, do you find at a time challenging that in a so-called male-dominated society, you guys are really working outside the box and making women powerful within the society?
I personally feel that by giving the women the options, and they go home and they are happy, they are smiling, so obviously the whole house will smile. If a woman is grumpy, a mother wakes up in the morning in a bad mood, everybody in the house has a bad day.
No, I agree.
So
but do you face challenges from faith institutions
No.
or a faith leader?
No.
Why these kind of activities? Because potentially can make a man or a group of men nervous. Historically speaking, and within the contemporary society, some social group would not like women to become empowered, women to become equal, women to become powerful. And again, I make this very clear, it's nothing to do with religion, it's to do with the cultural and social norms, which is totally different than what religion treats women. So from that one, do you face any challenges?
Not really, no. We haven't so far, no. We haven't. The men are asking my husband at the mosque, why don't you do one for the men? Why don't you cater one for the men? And he holds his hands up and says, that's not my job. You want something like that, you go to my wife. She'll sort you out. So the men do want it as well.
Okay. Do you think that's a shift from within our society?
Yes, definitely.
I have a model which I can bring it about India, about Bangladesh, about Pakistan, and early models here as well. And there are reasons as well, social and cultural reasons, how sometimes men would not take certain activities in a positive way that it should be. But do you think that shift now has happened from where men were and from where men are, and accepting these kind of activities done by women, and to like to see the women empowered?
Yeah, I don't think we have an issue in this country.
Okay.
Maybe we might do back home,
Back
but not
home.
in this country. And we want to be pioneers. We can do what men can do. We can even do it better.
Okay.
Definitely.
That's just the way that my father's brought us up. He said, you can do anything that a man can do. You're independent, you're strong, you're confident. And I think it comes from, having good role models in your life.
In your life.
That encourage you and support you.
Indeed.
And this is something that the children now growing up and the parents have to accept. It takes 2 wages in 2 incomes to pay 1 mortgage.
Yeah.
Nobody can turn around and just get a house and get on with life. They both have to work. And for that reason, I think the men have realized that no, the women need the education. If you want your daughter to marry into a good family and to flourish, she's going to have to work.
Nice one. So, guys, it's been a wonderful conversation. We are moving towards the last segment of the program, and I have got 2 or 3 questions about looking ahead. As a founder and as a former chair, and still very active within the group, What are your hopes for the future of the Sisterhood Companion Group? And same questions as a present chair, Farhat ji, how do you feel? So if you want to answer that, please.
For me, sisterhood was a very organic, I'm still learning on the go. But what I would like sisterhood to do is have a sisterhood in every community in Bolton and maybe nationwide as well. My motto is let's put the community back into the community.
Okay.
Because back in the day, we'd stand outside the back gates and we'd talk with our neighbors.
Yeah.
And if you smoked a cigarette, you'd smoke a cigarette. If you had a beer in your hand, you had a beer in your hand. And that's all gone now.
Okay.
So that's what I want to bring back into the community. Be one. Talk to your neighbors. Tomorrow, you might find yourself on your own. Your husband might go on holiday. Your children have moved on. What are you going to do?
Okay.
And it's making them aware of these situations that I think really does matter and does make a difference.
Nice one. Farhaji, what's your hope and aspirations and your future vision for this group?
So I can bring my qualifications, my skills and experiences, and try and build on the group and get some funding in for the group, because I've done funding with before, and just trying to build on the funding and do more activities with the ladies and ask the ladies what they want from the group, and then we can put that into place.
Yeah.
Nice one. And what message would you like our listeners to take away from this conversation?
Learn, learn, and learn.
What about you?
And I would like to say that you can do anything that a man can do. You can be independent, you can be strong, you can be self-sufficient, and you can build on that and encourage your families to do the same, and give that support to the children as well, to make them strong and independent as well.
Nice. Very quickly, when you visited our studio a couple of weeks ago, we touched upon young Muslims and the situation when it comes to mental health. Is it worth mentioning that does your group touch upon issues like domestic violence, mental health, and other taboo subjects, which sometimes we find it very difficult to address, as I said, for right reason. When we deal with the faith community, we have to respect and we have to work within the framework of faith values and so on. So how do you actually make a balance when it comes to sensitive issues like mental health, domestic violence, which are still up to some extent a bit taboo, but people have started opening up and have started this dialogue, debate, discussions, and faith community and institutions started working with the mainstream, working with the groups like that.
Yeah, so I'm a counsellor and community worker for the last 25 years, and I'm extremely passionate about mental health. And when I set up my project 25 years ago, we still have that stigma attached to the mental health. That stigma is still there in our communities. We still need to tackle that.
Okay.
And with the young people, there's an increase in mental health, which is rather worrying.
Why is that?
I presume it's because of the society that we live in now. We live in a fast-paced, demanding society, don't we? And it's very competitive,
Indeed.
which affects children's mental health. But we can signpost people to services that can help them. So if we can't deal with the issue, we can pass that on to other organisations that they can get help with.
Nice one. Well, the last segment, which is our favorite, our viewers' favorite, is rapid fire. But it's slightly challenging for me because normally I would have one person, so then I would play the rapid fire with one person. But this rapid fire, I'll play with both of you. But somebody's life will become easier if somebody goes second, because obviously you'll be listening to the first.
I'll go second.
So you go second.
I'll go
prefer to you prefer to have an easy.
Unless you're happy for me to go first, what would you
No,
prefer?
let the young person give a chance, because you will use your wisdom.
What do you mean, young person? Excuse me.
I mean, not
Who
age-wise.
are you calling young?
No, not age-wise. We are both young, but she's a junior.
Yeah, all right, fair enough.
If I may use that,
She's
but
still
we are
a
seniors.
learner.
Yes, yeah.
No.
Are you ready?
Yes, already.
Now, I don't need any philosophical, long kind of answers. It's to the point, yes and no. Okay, so this is rapid fire. Ladies and gentlemen, I have prepared it for our two guests. Farhaji, who is more powerful, man or women?
Women, we run the world.
Women, definitely.
If you say so.
I do say so. You know, we run the world because without us, this world would collapse. I'm telling you, men can't do what we
They
do.
can't.
I'm sorry, they
Shamim,
can't.
you are not allowed to say anything.
All right.
Your turn will come second, please. Okay, who is more organized, man or a woman?
Women, of course, we organize everything. We run the show.
You know, we're going to have another round of debate here where we should have two men versus two women, and then we
We'll
will
take them
exactly
on.
by
We'll
yes,
take them on,
yes,
yeah.
yeah. Who has more influence at home and outside, men or women?
Both.
That's an interesting answer. And last but not least, which prime minister of any respective countries perform better? A woman prime minister or a man prime minister?
I would say both again. So for the male, I would say Imran Khan all the way. For the female one was it the last Australian prime minister? Oh, she's still prime
I'm
minister.
hopeless in remembering names. I even forget my Choti Begum's names.
She's really good. The Australian one.
Okay,
Sorry,
fine.
I've forgotten her name.
Right. I think reasonably you tackled the rapid fire nicely with a couple of answers very diplomatically,
Yeah,
which
exactly.
which is quite good. Shamimji, it's your turn. Who is more powerful, man or woman?
The men.
Oh.
Wow.
The men.
There's
I
some
think
clapping in the audience.
I can give you a reason why if you've got time to listen to it very quickly. The man will make the main decisions. All the small decisions, they let us make it, they're happy. But once they say no, you have to respect it and say no.
Okay, nice one. Very honest, very sincere answer. Who is more organized, man or woman?
My husband,
He must be a lucky guy.
he is,
Getting compliments from
he is
good
very
lady.
lucky.
Yes,
No, no,
I
no, no,
don't know
no.
these kind of compliments at all. You know. Oh, wow.
But it's the truth.
Wow.
I'm not saying anything I'm not supposed to. It's the truth.
That's fair enough. Who has more influence at home and outside, man or woman?
Women.
Women have more influence
We have more influence outside.
outside. What about home?
At home also, yeah, I think the day-to-day decisions, because Talim begins at home.
Yeah,
It begins with the mother.
yeah.
It's up to us to teach our children right and wrong, what's accepted, what's not accepted,
I see.
etc.
Right. Very quickly, in my house, the big decisions, serious, I take it. And the little decisions, my Choti Begum, I call her my wife, she takes it. So big decisions like American foreign policy, Indian economy, how the world is going to run, I make that decisions. But then how much money comes in, how much money she wants to spend, whereabouts she wants to go holiday, those kind of little decisions my wife makes it.
I think you're fibbing there, but okay. I'll accept it. I'll accept it.
Now, Saminji, which prime minister of any respective country performed better? A woman prime minister or a man prime minister?
A man.
Wow. Very quickly, would you like to shade or enlighten us on that?
We're still learning. As women, we are still learning. We've still got a lot of barriers that we have to jump over before we get there. However, if the world was to come to an end, we can live without men. You cannot live without women.
I'm looking forward to some of the comments received by our viewers on these both answers we got. And once again, thank you so much for visiting our Bieber studio. I enjoyed talking to you, and I'm sure that many of our viewers will find these conversations, these discussions, this debate very, very useful. But very importantly, how do they get in touch with yourself if any women from this area, from the region, or from outside wants to know more about it? Would you like to give your contact details or email address or any communication tool so that people can get back to you?
Yeah, sure. Shamim Panchbhaya, ShamimPanchbhaya @hotmail.com. And I'll say it once again, I married him for his money, not the name.
Some very interesting comments. So, ladies and gentlemen, we have had Honorable Chair, former and current Chair in our studio, Sisterhood Companions. And as I said right at the beginning, that the Sisterhood Companions' role is in line with what the greatest American writer, Diane Marichal, said in her book, that a woman is the full circle. Within her is the power to create, power to nurture, and power to transform. And that's what exactly Sisterhood Companions does. Once again, we like to thank our guests for their very honest very sincere interactions, very open with sense of humor as well, and at a time very serious. I hope that you find this information useful. And if you think that you would like to get connected with this group, anything to do with women issue, so it be education, so it be health, so it be social activities, including political activities, do get in touch with Shamim ji and Farhat ji. This is Imtiaz Patel Vadiawala here, along with my producer, founder, CEO, Faruk Bhai Ugadar, and of course our studio manager, and our studio editor Sadab Bhai, working always very hard behind the camera, and also our young presenter and researcher Tanzila, who is also working very hard behind the camera. Keep watching Divas from local to global, global to local. This is Imtiaz Patel Vadiawala. Thank you.